Hi there, Elevated Planet community. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jole Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show. It's going to be very exciting and uplifting, and John's going to tell us more about it.
Yeah, I will. This is a bit of a take two, actually. I forgot to press record, so we're doing it again. So thank you, community, for hanging on in there with us. Anyway, I was explaining, okay, when we first came on, there's a few things I want to talk about. I'm loving the way that our community is coming together now, and anybody that watches this on YouTube who wants to be part of our community, just drop me an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or go onto our website, elevatedplanet.life/contact page, send us your email address, you go onto the distribution list, and we're going to have all sorts of stuff going forward. So yeah, come and join us. Anyway, I was talking about Linda, who's here today. So Linda, this is her book. And I was saying that this arrived this week and I'm into the reading of this. It's all about mind, body, and spirit and joining this together with movement, like a Pilates type thing. But where Linda's taken it is kind of like it's a new paradigm. I love it. It makes an awful lot of sense. And I was saying that picture on the front in a few weeks' time, as I get practicing, that will be me. I'll be able to do that. And I'm going to have to buy myself a new leotard, I think, but I'm going to do it. Oh, here's a couple of things as well, actually. And I didn't remember this before, but I just remembered it. There's a couple of passages that I wanted to actually read from this because this really, this surprised me because I was going to read this from page 6 of Linda's book. It says, "We are spiritual beings, godlings, little gods, each of us with a magnificent gift of mind-body, through which we may experience our magnificence, the source, energy of all creation. As a trinity of body, mind, spirit, we have been gifted the ability to experience our godlike attributes of light and love and shine them on everyone and everything around us. It is perhaps that beautiful and that simple." Now, one of the things that really struck me about this, I read Linda's book, it arrived, and I just started reading through that. And then there was a video that we're going to start off with today. And that was the first time hearing that video was the first time I'd ever heard Godlings mentioned. Okay. I'd never heard that phrase. And then I opened Linda's book, and the first thing she refers to us as is Godlings, little gods. So I thought, oh, that's a bit of a synchronicity right there. And I always look for synchronicities. And I also wanted to take from page 14, because this really aligns with where we're going with the show today, is where Linda is talking about the allness, knowing we are the allness. We can deduce there is nothing that we are not. The I am reflects that allness. I am all, and I can choose that which I wish to experience from the field of allness by choosing my thought in this moment. What we choose after I am is the experience we are having. As in, I am happy, I am sad, I am afraid, I am joyful, I am a mess, I am perfect, I am God, you know. And then she does a quote, which I'll just carry on with this as well, from A Course in Miracles. "No one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. No one suffers pain except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick unless these are the outcomes that he wants. And no one dies without his consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Here is your world, complete in all details. Here it is, the whole reality for you. And it is only here that salvation is." So I really like that because this aligns with the way this week's program has been directed. Okay. And I think again, these things tend to happen through us, not, it just everything turns up at the right time. And that's why you get these little synchronicities kicking in. Because we've had a couple of weeks previous where we've been shining the light into the darkness, talking about what is going on in the background of what has been creating this world that we live in. Because, to know these things is empowering on its own. But then knowing that the real answers lie within, okay, that's where we're going today. It's this empowering thing. So what Linda has tapped into there, I believe really aligns. Now, the other thing that I mentioned as well, like from a community point of view, was deep gratitude to Joy Castleman, who, and I'll show you this picture that she sent, because the Eagles Perch has obviously been a big theme in recent weeks. And this beautiful eagle is a piece of work that Joy created for us, along with the written work there by Joseph White Eagle. So that I will share on the newsletter. Thank you very much, Joy. Really appreciate your work there. So what we're going to be diving into is a lady called Cailan Callahan and her near-death experience, because she had this occur to her when she was around 20 years old. But what I've done is obviously I've trimmed off all the bit about where she dies, she goes to the hospital, how that all happens, because really this is all about the message that is there to be shared with humanity, which is the empowering message, right? That's the bit that really counts. But to give you the background, and again, this will be on the newsletter as well. You can see the thing in its entirety, should you wish to. So she had a horse riding accident where she fell from the horse. She was kicked in the head by another horse, and this is what basically took her over to the other side, where she met her spirit guide Michael, and was just bathed in unconditional love. And we know how these things go, right? But what she came back with was such an empowering message. The other thing to mention was that as a child, as a 5-year-old, there was a local pedophile that she was abused by this pedophile, and she had an out-of-body experience during that as well. It's worth mentioning that here, because even though we don't cover that bit in the initial part of the video, she references it. So just so you know, that is what she is referencing at the time. So, okay. Anyway, Jolé, can I bring you back in before we go to Cailan?
Sure, I'm here. And I think you summed it up nicely, John, but I would just like to again reiterate that it's important that we take in this information and realize that it's possible for us to do these things too, or have these messages come to us without having to experience something traumatic. And that's kind of what we're moving into. We're moving into more of these blissful experiences, I believe. And so let's align with that. Let's align with hearing beautiful music, eating healthy food, hearing our intuition, which aligns us with our purpose. Because all of that negativity, a lot of it was just given to us.
Yeah.
So we're grateful for Cailan, but it's also really important that we know that we have those skills too.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And we're not advocating anybody tries a near-death experience for themselves in case they don't come back. But I do think so many of these people, this was kind of part of their playbook for life, because they come back as messengers. And we've used this kind of thing over the last couple of years in the show with other people, and often the messages that come back just make you realize what a special journey this is that we're on.
What I did see is that there was a vast wave of thousands of souls who were incarnating in Earth venue to be on hand now for a transition that is happening now, where we move from being identified as the conditioned Earth soul to becoming lucid in the dream of the world, and knowing that we are instead eternal beings having this temporal experience. And I was part of that team of souls who had come here to help humanity remember, become lucid in the dream of the world, that they have a larger identity that transcends just this world and has many lives and many worlds, okay? So that team had come here to make humanity lucid in the dream of the world, so they would remember more of their true self from within the dream. And I was part of that team, and I loved them with a love that it's simply not describable in words we have in this venue, because we've forgotten what that kind of love feels like here. But it was pure love. And when I say pure, we all say unconditional. It's because you're going to love regardless of the situation or what a person does, because this really is a dream, okay? It is the dream of your higher self, and you've forgotten that higher self while you're having the dream. And the point is to remember your higher self, to be lucid while you're in this dream, so that we could all, that's why we're incarnating here, this team, so that we can use our self-talk and our labels to take control of the dream that we're having. Because as I told you earlier, if you label a thing bad, it's going to seem bad to you. If you say this sucks, verily it sucketh. But if you say there is something good in this for me, and you begin looking for the blessing that's in it, you will be focused on the blessing, and you will have a very different experience rather than just being identified with your unhappy self-talk. So it is in your power to take control over what you say to yourself about situations, and that what you say to yourself determines how you're going to feel about it completely. All right. So this is your godly estate. So I and thousands of others have come here to deliver this message at this time. It's just that we're all delivering different aspects of that message, of that perspective. But if you realize you are a godling, and that the things you say to yourself and to others create your reality, you're a big step closer to exercising sovereignty over your experience in the world. Humanity presently is being polarized by being encouraged to identify with their self-talk, their stories of being hard done by. They are being told that their grievances are justified, and that their anger is justified, and the anger might be understandable, but it's not helpful. And the victim stories, a lot of times people think, well, if I don't have my story of being a victim, these things really did happen to me. I was sexually assaulted at the age of 5. Okay. I understand the whole, this really did happen to me, and it's a big deal, and it shouldn't have happened. And I understand that, but none of that self-talk ever did me any good. Instead, I was enslaved to it. Okay. What set me free was realizing I had the ability to look for the blessings in things. Well, people say, how can there be a blessing in such a horrific event? Well, I left my body and my guide was there, and I realized, wow, not only am I not my body while I was being assaulted, I'm not my body. I have this magnificent guide with me who loves me perfectly and unconditionally. So I was focused on that instead of what was happening to my body at the time. So you see in this, there is a great power by where you put your attention and what you say to yourself to take authority over your experience. Right now, humanity is being encouraged by our leaders to fall deeply asleep and unconscious in our self-talk, our stories about being victims, about being hard done by, about, our grievances. None of those stories, none of that self-talk is helping us. In fact, it is making us angry with each other, as though my next door neighbor is my problem, when they are not my problem. They haven't done anything to me, but they are a different political persuasion than me. They want what's best for the country just as I do. We simply disagree on what it is. And it used to be in the United States that Democrats and Republicans had cookouts together on Sunday. We watched football together. We had, we were neighbors. We helped each other. Okay, yes, we disagreed politically, but we were still neighbors. We loved each other. We helped each other. Okay, that used to be the way it was. But when people that have power and influence and money are getting ready to take advantage of a population, of people, what they do is they split those people against one another. They make those people, the neighbors, angry with each other so that they are busy fighting each other and they don't turn on the people who are actually causing the hardships, the people that are in charge. So right now we have a bunch of oligarchs in the United States and all over the world who are trying to fractionalize the people so that we are all divided and we don't join forces to cause the oligarchs to be thrown out of power. All right. So this is what the oligarchs are doing. They're telling us, yes, your self-talk, your anger, your bad story, your grievances, they're all justified. And they may be justified, and understandable, but they're not helpful.
It is reassuring how much support humanity is receiving to help raise consciousness, and it's encouraging to see so many who have gone through near-death experiences sharing their wisdom and knowledge from the other side of the veil. There are so many wonderful examples that provide such a deep insight into the nature of consciousness and the human experience. We are indeed eternal beings having a human experience, and when you truly take that in, so much of the self-imposed life pressures we place on ourselves fall away. We are not our body and we can never die. Fear of death is pointless, and as that fear drops away, two things happen. Firstly, those who use the fear of death as a control weapon lose their power over you as you step back into your sovereignty. Secondly, for anyone who previously worried about dying, you cease drawing death towards you, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. So, Cailan and friends are here to help us become lucid in our dream of the world. This is the dream of our highest self. So it's now time to remember and become lucid in our dream, to take control of the dream that we are having. And it's interesting because the Aborigines have always spoken about this life here in the physical being dream time and the other side of the veil as being reality. So maybe they've got that right. And it's all about the importance of the labels that we give things. I love that Cailan says, if we say it sucks, then verily it sucketh. So indeed, we focus on the blessings in everything so we don't get caught up in our unhappy self-talk that draws yet more of the same towards us. Isn't it fantastic that we have the power to shape our life experience in so many ways? We really are creator beings. The only question is, what experience do you choose for yourself? And be mindful that, as Cailan says, we are being encouraged into the negative emotions by the media and all the other control agents out there. But the simple truth is that you, and only you, can exercise your free will to choose the narrative of limitation or choose your own path to identify with all the blessings. And despite any appearance to the contrary, life here in the physical realm is an incredible blessing and opportunity for soul growth. How amazing is that, to be here at this unique time of planetary transition? And watch out for that division energy that is designed to manipulate us into fear and anger against each other. It is very blatant and obvious when you start to look for it. Just ask yourself the question, why are you encouraging me to hate my fellow man? So, discernment is key. Don't assume that just because information comes from a seemingly trustworthy source that it is true. Be ready to shine that light into the darkness and judge for yourself. You are the sole arbiter of your truth. Do not give that power to others.
The new systems will be designed lucidly in order to keep people in their clarity. We will discover, in the course of becoming lucid in the dream of the world, we will discover the cost of being unconscious in our self-talk. We will have lived through it. We'll look back and we'll say, oh my God, look at all the fighting, look at all the loss, look at all the death, look at all the sadness that was caused when we allowed those people, those leaders, to talk us into hating each other and fearing each other. We will see that, and we'll realize that if we take control and stay lucid, take control of our self-talk and stay lucid as consciousness itself, conscious of itself, will realize that in that power is the opportunity for global peace. Okay? In that alone is the opportunity for global peace. And so instead of creating institutions and processes that separate us from one another and that cause us to retreat into our self-talk, where we talk ourselves into grievances and talk ourselves into anger, etc., the institutions will be designed to keep everyone lucid, to help people take responsibility for the sort of subjective experience they're creating for themselves with their self-talk. That way, we stay at peace. People will not say, or they may say it, "You make me so angry," and they'll be told, "No, the situation isn't making you angry. I'm not making you angry. What you're saying to yourself about the situation is making you angry." Okay, so we'll put the responsibility back on the person for how they speak to themselves about other people and about situations. And once they see that they have the power to bring themselves joy, or consciously or unconsciously despair, people will generally choose to empower themselves and choose joy. So I think that the new systems that will be designed to foster much more a sense of individual responsibility for the subjective experience you create for yourself with your words. And the new systems will be designed to make people feel less alone and isolated, because the only way we get to where we're losing our lucidity and our self-talk is if we are isolated. Right now, the bubbling of inputs, where people only hang out online with crowds of people who think just like they do. So they just surround themselves in an echo chamber of the same thoughts. They don't talk to people who have a different point of view. They don't listen to people who have a different point of view. They don't want to hear another point of view. They want to be in their point of view, okay? This fragments the society and it causes it to break down. The cell phones that we're all immersing ourselves in all the time causes us to communicate face to face less than we did before. And so there's less genuine feeling of rapport, less of a feeling of mutual support and understanding and respect. So in the future, we will design new institutions and new ways of doing things that bring people together and have people talk more to each other and listen more to each other without fear and without anger, realizing that the other person is trying to help you stay lucid, trying to help you stay in your godly estate, and choosing the self-talk that makes you happy, choosing the self-talk that makes you healthy. Okay. So these are the changes that will come, but it will come because we will look back and see how allowing the society to become fragmented caused great upheaval and loss and suffering. If people understood what I'm trying to give them, they would no longer be controllable. Not only would they not be controllable, but they would be free. Happiness, as long as you're identified with your self-talk, instead of as the consciousness who chooses the self-talk. Your happiness is contingent upon your situation, as long as you are in unconscious identification with your stories, your self-talk. Okay, your happiness is dependent on your situation. But at the moment you awaken to your godly estate and realize that you have the power by choosing your self-talk to choose your experience, your joy becomes constantly accessible. Your joy becomes the way you live because you are in experience of your godly estate and you know what you are and you can't be controlled and you're free from circumstances dictating how you feel. You're no longer a hostage to the situation because you're the one who chooses what it means to you and what you take out of it.
Okay, so we are set to uncover the cost of being unconscious in our self-talk, showing where we have allowed ourselves to fall for the negative agenda of the puppet masters. Simply stay conscious and lucid as to our self-talk, and from that alone is the opportunity to create global peace, which of course reminds me of the excellent work of Lynn McTaggart in pulling people together to focus their conscious awareness on love and peace with real, tangible, scientifically proven results every time. This stuff really works because it taps us into the field of consciousness through quantum mechanics. We really are godlings and we didn't even realize it. The trick is to take personal responsibility for our lives, realizing that we are powerful creators. So if there are aspects of life that do not bring you joy, take accountability. Then rework your self-talk to the outcome you desire and engage all your senses in that outcome, and you will see your world change. Conscious joy or unconscious despair. That is the free will choice on offer here. And we overcome any feeling of isolation because unity consciousness brings us back to the realization that we are all one. And not only does that bring us closer together as a supportive community, but we also will have more connection to our higher self, our team of guides and angels, and what I refer to as our metaphysical family, knowing that those who have crossed over are still with us, cheering us on from the sidelines. We truly are never alone. So we choose that self-talk that makes us happy and healthy. It is so simple, and it really does work. We magnetize towards us that we focus upon. So staying conscious and lucid around our self-talk really brings our dream life here in the physical into that world of unspeakable beauty. How fantastic is that? So next up, we have Ashtar from the Galactic Federation of Light with a short message to humanity.
The Master Jesus you revere instructed you to adopt non-resistance, but did not detail a mechanical method for doing so. You hold the principle, yet how it manifests in your daily reality remains your sacred responsibility. Each day invites you to refine your light so that any lesser energy, be it mental, emotional, social, or financial, loses the illusion of control. Indeed, many starseeds are cognizant that a vast web of clandestine manipulation, woven by negative interplanetary or interdimensional agents, lurks behind humanity's known structure. Across your histories, certain dark-leaning Anunnaki, reptilian lineages from Draco, and the tall Mater from Orion tampered with your genetic makeup and concealed themselves in hidden outposts beneath your feet. Yet in these moments, their covert presence is exposed and removal proceeds swiftly, though complicated by their use of humanity as protective buffers. Nevertheless, the rising frequencies are unbearable for them. Many have retreated through bodily death or have been expelled, an outcome inevitable as truth intensifies across your dimension.
So I love the consistency of the messaging that's reaching us these days, because we can interpret what's being said here as encouraging us each to take accountability for our lives and not get drawn into the dramas designed to distract from the path that most serves us. We refine our light through accountability and positive self-talk, immersed in gratitude for this opportunity for soul growth. This enables us to transcend the illusion of control. What I also love about this message is that this is the first time I've heard such an accurate description of these puppet masters who've been pulling the strings of humanity for thousands of years. And as the frequency rises on the planet, their clandestine manipulation can no longer succeed as we move beyond their fourth dimensional energies. And as we know from last week's show, referencing the failing dark agenda of the upper echelons of the Freemasons / Illuminati / secret government, many humans are working with these other beings to deliver on their subterfuge. But everyone will have the opportunity to release these denser energies and step into the light. The alternative is to stay with the old earth energies because they are not yet ready to truly step into their power, and there is nothing wrong with that. It all comes down to free will choices, albeit we will offer ourselves as a bridge for those who find themselves ready to explore the higher timeline. Jolé, what would you care to add?
We talk about in their accountability, taking accountability for how we think and the things that we say. And also, I'd like to add on to that consistency. I know that's a bugger in my hat. Sometimes it's just staying on top of affirming the positives. Affirming the positives and the blessings in our lives are what help us manifest more. So when we speak about that, we're also talking about how that consistency in affirming positive occurrences in our life and positive blessings and really affirming those lead to us manifesting. And so when they talk about the lucidity of thought and you talk about, just speaking life into things, remember that that applies to you and your environment. And the more that we stay in alignment with that, the better our life is. And then if our cup is filled, that means that we get to share with others. And we can experience all the love languages instead of just one or two of them. So really, at the end of the day, it's all going back to love and really allowing for that to flow through your life through positive words, positive thoughts, and really speaking life into your environment.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you, Jolé. Anyway, next up, we have the brilliant work of Dolores Cannon from her quantum healing hypnosis technique, which revealed so much wisdom over the years. This adds another level of explanation to the New Earth paradigm. Take it away, Dolores.
Why did Jean decide to come back now? You said she'd been here in other pivotal points in Earth's history.
This is the big one. This is the great one. This is happening now, and many are remembering who they really are and are being contacted. The new children are being brought in, and she loves the children, so she's helping others to balance the energies. It's being a bridge, bridging the energies now. You are a bridge. Of course you are. So there are those of you that came in to help bridge the information, to be the ambassadors.
To help these people wake up to who they are.
Absolutely. And to be okay, to accept any of them who have experiences that they filed away. It's a big time on your planet because this is the big one. This is where you, as a planet, awaken out of the dream of thinking you're alone, that you're all that is. Your Earth is evolving. You are all evolving. All eyes are on Earth right now anyway. This is the big one. Many fought to be here, even children that come in, even for hours. You'll all carry that, the badge of having been here.
Even for a few hours?
Absolutely. To have been on this planet at a time of this kind of evolution, no planet has ever quite evolved this way before, this uniquely. If you were going to have the option to carry the identification of having been on a planet that will be known through the multiverse, even if you can be here for a few hours, that you could say, I was on Earth at the time of evolution. Why not?
Is this what I call the new Earth?
Yes.
That there will be an old and a new, and then a separation?
Yes.
And that some won't make the evolution?
Yes, yes.
I'm still trying to understand that.
It is difficult for many humans to understand this concept.
I'm still trying to clarify this to myself so I can explain it to other people.
All right, we will give you this piece. For those that choose to stay in karma, they have to live that out somewhere. So do they stay with the old Earth? Do they get taken to some foreign planet? No, they stay where they created.
I see. And those are the ones that will not go on in the evolution.
Not at this time, no. Eventually. Not at this time. But that will be difficult.
Then the old Earth will continue to exist.
Yes, this one.
Will the people in the old Earth be aware that anything has happened when the evolution occurs?
All right. We will take you back to the time of Atlantis. In your history, Atlantis had several destructions, and people perceived that others died.
You mean there was more than one destruction? This goes along with the information I have received about multiple advanced civilizations being destroyed in various cataclysmic ways. I was never sure if it was referring to different civilizations that had reached a height of development, or if the Atlantis demise occurred in stages.
Yes, there is an Atlantis that went on and exists in time and space. Therefore, from that perspective, that Atlantis exists now in another dimension. So there will be those on the old Earth that will experience it, because they buy into the fear of the death and destruction and devastation of Earth, and they will be there. In their mind, they may perceive that all of you are dead or gone or whatever. And likewise, you may perceive them as gone, but either way there will be two experiences. So think of this as already there. The orchestration to create this experience is so much bigger than any human can perceive at this time. This is a big orchestration, not just occurring on your Earth, but with the help of so many, and no other planets have done this before.
I've been told that the whole universe is watching.
More than just the universe. There are those even from other universes that are watching.
Because they said this had never happened before, where an entire planet moves into another dimension.
Never. Ever.
There have been groups. I've heard the Mayans did it.
Yes.
But it was small groups. This is the first time that an entire planet makes it. That's why I've been told it's important.
That's right. Also, look at the fact that, as a consciousness, you see yourselves as separate. Consciousness on this planet was created in a unique way to be able to experience itself as separate. Most races do not see that. Regardless of where they are, they don't experience themselves as separate from their source. Your planet has.
So the ones who are part of the Federation and work on the ships know their source and know where they come from.
Of course. And they love you humans. You don't even know what you've done. They recognize there are primitive behaviors on the planet. But to reach the level that you have, based on the restrictions that you've had to work within, it's amazing. Your capacity to love is deep. Your capacity of fear is deep. That's the power of control that gets everybody in trouble, fostered by the fear.
Here we are, back again. So, I do find this really interesting because when you stop and think about the new Earth and how does this happen, right? And I can understand why many people don't get this yet, and you just got to stop and get your head around this. But I like the way that this gets explained. So the new Earth is kind of in a different dimension relative to what the old Earth will be in. And there's a couple of ways, and I like the fact that there's mention to Atlantis. So Atlantis still exists in a different dimension, right? Okay, so there was an outcome for Atlantis that survived. There was a survival version of that as well, and it's kind of like a parallel universe, and it really does stretch the imagination way beyond our normal human perception. And I always found, though, that through Dolores's work, it definitely helps me to get my mind around the concepts. And I found that her work tended to awaken a sense of knowing in me as well, because I would just read things. And having absorbed it, normally you kind of like question, yeah, do I get it? Do I not? But it really awakens something up inside you because you've known it all along, but you had to read it to allow that to come back into your conscious memory. So you had to do the work in order to get there. And I think this is what not just Dolores's work, but so many of the works out there, Conversations with God we spoke about last week as well. And I think there's something actually there within the Conversations with God, which is also quite apt for this as well. Because one of the things that was there, which Neil Donald Walsh and his Conversations with God covered 2 or 3 different times within that series of books, was about thinking about life almost as a computer game. If you think about a computer game and we're making moves within the game, right? So you have a multitude of choices, which direction you're going to go. And depending which direction you go, the next thing opens up, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So basically create a game with every single potential outcome all there on that disc, right? And this is how it was explained with Conversations with God, is that you could, if you can imagine that every potential outcome for planet Earth exists, but you are choosing your way. And as you choose your way, that particular path opens up. So if it happens to be a dark path, then that's going to take you in a certain direction. If it's a path of the light, then that is going to give you a different set of experiences. And that also brings us back to that self-talk thing again, because what you're creating is a positive environment for yourself moving forward. So this kind of all aligns, it all makes sense. And, it also tells us that things don't happen to us, they happen for us. And that also breaks us out of that victim mentality as well. I can't believe that happened to me, da 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 da. How unlucky am I? The reality is that it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So you take a step back and ask yourself, well, what's the lesson that I'm supposed to learn from this? Because, this is what you had created for yourself. We are accountable for our entire life story. So let's just kind of flip that around. We're not the victim, we're the master. And therefore, what is it we're taking from this, and how we're moving forward? So, Jole, can I bring you in?
I'm here. That moving into a new earth is moving into unspeakable beauty. I'm going to just make clear what that timeline is. And part of that is, when you spoke about, or Caitlin, Dolores, one of us, right, spoke about awaken knowing. That is really about accountability as well. Really being able to kind of remove the triggers that keep us in victim mode. The reason why sometimes we don't want to look at things is because of the feeling we get. And so really getting clinical and looking at your trauma as information instead of getting into the trigger. And then when you can dig into the core of that and say, this is the behavior I don't like about myself. People have brought this to my attention. How do I change this? And then you begin to do your meditations and you do your prayers and you bring in that energy and you remove that trauma, because all it is information. So then it empowers you to start making better choices. That's how you kind of take accountability. Another way is sometimes, often that happens with me, is past pictures come in. I'll be driving, mowing the lawn, doing whatever, and I remember this event. It's a pesky little bugger, isn't it? It just won't go away. So this is a picture. You can pull that out. What do you mean by that? You pop it out of your energy. It's your energy. Just say, leave my energy. Put a rose underneath that. Drain it of all its color. What's the color? That's the trigger. Drain it of its color. Fill it with gold light. Put it in your memory bank. Fill up that area of your body where that picture was with gold light. Do these things, and this can help you move closer, inch you closer to being really easy to start taking accountability, where in the moment you're like, you know what, you're right. I'll take a look at that. Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Boom, you can move on, right? And now we're not a victim. And now we are in the moment dealing with it so that we can be lucid and we can have these positive thoughts. Why? Because we're aligning with our purpose and we're remaining in integrity.
Yeah.
So
No, that's super powerful, and I love that, because back before I knew you, I never would have thought about this idea of these things, the repeat stuff that goes on in life, and being able to pop that picture and remove it and then fill it with gold light,
yeah.
Once you start to realize this soul architecture thing that you kind of like taught me so much about, you realize we have this power, right?
Correct.
It's
Correct.
not just the positive self-talk, it's also the fact that, yeah, you've got a mechanism, you've got a practice.
Correct.
Right?
To help you to stay in alignment, and to really seize those positive thoughts. Because oftentimes, what is it? It's a cumulative effect that creates the trauma of us continuing to self-sabotage. And so it was so powerful when you were talking and you mentioned you're in each moment to make a choice, right? So why don't we in our meditations go back to those traumatic pictures that keep buggering us and then make the other choice? Say, I go back to this part of the timeline, and instead of doing this, I decided I was going to do that. Let's see where that takes me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's just how powerful we are. And that's how you make that magic. Go back to that heartbreak. And
Yeah.
this time you be the one that maybe didn't meet that person. What happened? Jump timelines like that. So go
Mm.
back and fix. So we're going to go back and do that for the meditation.
Yeah, I like that. I like that because that was the other thing that I didn't really mention it, but that's something that I understand with the parallel universes as well, is that every time you have to make a big decision in life and you're weighing up your two choices, you choose the choice that you make and you go in that direction, yet the energy that's gone into the other decision still runs off in a parallel universe. I mean, it's this crazy stuff, but that's how I understand it to be.
That is beautiful. And another way to deal with these pictures, what I do is I do that exercise, draining them of their color, but I ho'oponopono it. So while I'm doing
Yeah.
that, I say, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And the pictures don't like that. They will automatically start to like dematerialize when you start to do these types of exercises. Negative energy does not like ho'oponopono. It's almost like an automatic alkaline, for your soul architecture. So anytime you feel those emotions around taking accountability, do your ho'oponopono in the moment. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And you'll notice it gets easier to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really powerful because I remember when we did that focused show on the Ho'oponopono, and I
Mhm.
did the research on that, and I was absolutely staggered how this doctor who was going, through the Ho'oponopono practice, which everybody just thought was completely ludicrous, and he was able to turn around that sanatorium full of criminally insane people, right? And all bar two of them were released back into society absolutely, perfectly fine again because they were being able to release these. And I think the only two that remained to move on to the new hospital were basically because they hadn't had time yet to work on them.
Yeah.
So an absolute miracle worker, it really is.
And even like Gabor Mate and his work around trauma, and what he's discovered about childhood, going back to your childhood and throwing love on that situation and your parents, and just really it's information. Your parents did the best that they could. You were doing the best that you could. Go back there, make another choice that
Yes.
supports you.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, and thank you also to the community for the ongoing support and for the messages that you're sending through. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Are we ready? Are we ready to move on to
Yes.
guided meditation visualization? We've got Dolores from book 3 of Convoluted Universe just to give us 2 minutes to take us into the theme for that. So bear with me a second, and Jolé will be working her magic.
I know Earth was created with free will, but it was also created with the idea of not knowing it was part of the source.
Yes, it was an interesting construct of consciousness in that it experienced itself as separate. Where else could there be more growth than in a situation where you actually saw yourself as separate from your source?
But you said the other races know they are all a part of the source?
Yes, they do. So can there be more soul growth on Earth? Yes.
If we thought we were alone and then had to discover this all by ourselves?
Yes. They have to discover the truth of who they are on their own. Yes.
With nothing else to help them. I can see what you mean.
You have density here. You have the beauty. You have the senses. You have much going on here, but you also have not understanding. Look where you are.
I've had many people have sessions where they go back to the source. They see how beautiful it is, and they don't want to leave it again.
When you connect with the source, it is the most beautiful experience. So your question is what? Are the sessions happening for them to connect with that source?
Yes. Why is it happening? So they will know what it's like? Or to remind them, or...
For those that need to have that experience, yes. For some, it would be too great, and they wouldn't be able to go on. They would just as soon leave. It's different for each one of you. Every person is different in terms of what they can and cannot experience, and what it will trigger within their subconscious, because each one of you is a unique and individual fingerprint on the planet. There are no two of you really alike. Think what a genius is the mastery of that. Think of the beauty and the wonder of that. And there are many of you, other lifetimes now, working on the other side, and they are all participating in this as well. You are never alone, any of you.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. Bring your awareness to the center of your chest and begin to breathe with the rhythm of your body. Today, we're going to do it a little differently. I want you to create, visualize, and imagine a beautiful white light beaming down from heaven, encompassing you and your aura layer. And it feels so warm and just filled with life. And all of your atoms are tingling with life as this white light then begins to move out into your environment, all throughout your neighborhood, moving out into your city, your state, your continent, and encompassing the entire universe. Is just filled with this beautiful white light. And as you sit here in this warmth, that pyramid with the capstone starts to spin as your toroidal field comes into view. Create, generate, and imagine your toroidal field being filled with your purpose, all of the etchings of your purpose, all of the things that you need to manifest and bring in to fulfill your purpose are etching themselves on this toroidal field, this grid of light that locks into Mother Earth and the universe so that it knows what to bring you. And then you see that your higher self is above your aura layer. And your aura layer is just beautiful, and the layers, and it's just filled with joy and amusement and all these colors dancing together. And each chakra is clean and clear, filled with gold light, and you are rooted and grounded into Mother Earth with the grounding cord that is 6 inches in diameter, connected to your first chakra, bringing you into the present moment. All is as it should be. So you breathe with the rhythm of your body and know that you are safe and divinely protected as you lock into your nervous system and you feel that energy move out into your aura layer, powering you up with that divine electricity of unconditional love, moving you through the flow so that each choice that you make is one that it will take you, has taken you to the highest timeline of unspeakable beauty. So as you breathe with the rhythm of your body and you open the bottoms of your feet like the lens of a camera, you're going to call in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. Your higher self is standing at the power position above your head, comfortable distance above the crown. as it opens like the lens of a camera, and that gold light that's encompassed within that white light rains down on that pyramid, that toroidal field, that higher self, and it moves down into the crown, filling up your brain, moving out any disease, illness, worry, doubt, fear, uncalcifying the pineal gland, factory resetting that endocrine system and all the systems in your body back to that of unconditional love. As that energy pulsates, that electricity moves through that nervous system as it meets with that earth energy, beginning to fill you up like water fills up a cup, powering up those beautiful etches on your toroidal field so that you can magnetize in the experiences that allow you to make those choices that serve your highest good. So as you see yourself and feel this energy pulsating throughout your body, I want you to take a moment and go back. Go back to the birth canal. And you're going to put a golden sun above your head. And we're going to call all of our energy back from all of these experiences where your free will was compromised, where your beauty, your financial, whatever it is that you feel as if you've lost, you're going to call it back into that golden sun above your head. And I want you to go back to when you were first born and the trauma of the birth canal. You're going to call that energy back. And you're going to ho'oponopono that picture. You can pull it out, drain it, fill it with cold light. You move forward, 1 year old. Call your energy back from all of the experiences where your free will was compromised. Move into 2. Call it all back. If you see any pictures, drain them, pull them out of your aura, put a rose underneath, drain them of their color, fill them with gold light, and just leave them there. And we'll do an exercise at the end with those. So I want you to go up to 5, call all your energy back. And I want you to go by the decades. Call all your energy back into that golden sun that's above your higher self, beneath your toroidal field, and that pyramid with the capstone, as that beautiful golden rain, cosmic divine life force energy rains down. And you are seeing your energy being called back into waves as you move through the decades of your life, calling all your energy back from those experiences where your free will was compromised, your energy was mined and taken, whether it be a human, an interstellar being, an institution, a corporation, a technological device. Call all your energy back. Pop those pictures out. Drain them, fill them with gold light, and say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, to all these experiences. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, call your energy back fully. Call back your wellness. Call back your childlike innocence. Call back your financial prosperity and abundance. Call back all of your energy, your destiny, your positive, your beauty. Resolve and dissolve any karma, negative karma, any spells, any curses, any contracts, vows, or agreements your ancestors may have made that may be in your genetic code that is blocking you from your purpose. It is to be resolved and dissolved, and your energy to be called back As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, know that you are worthy and deserving. It is safe for you to thrive. It is safe for you to align with your purpose. You are worthy and deserving. Call all of your energy back. As you breathe the rhythm of your body. And I gently remind you that you are rooted and grounded into Mother Earth. The grounding cord that is clean, clear, and filled with gold light. Your aura is 1.5 feet around you, your higher self is above you, and your astral body is snapped in. As your higher self stands in the power position above your head, comfortable distance above your crown, as that earth energy of a color that resonates with you, 15%, pools in the bottoms of your feet, traveling up the side channels of your legs, as that 85% cosmic gold life force energy comes raining down from the heavens into your crown, bringing in unconditional love, bringing you back to your optimal wellness and ability to manifest your highest good in real time as your energy is being called back. All those pictures are right out in front of you, drained of all their color and their triggers and filled with gold light, as that beautiful golden sun above your head is called all of your energy back. So feel what it feels like to be rooted and grounded, to be free. And so now we're going to put 2 big roses 10 feet outside our aura layer. And all of those roses that are underneath those pictures are going to fly into those roses outside our aura. And those golden suns are going to come down into those pictures. And those pictures are going to then fly into our memory bank, which is located at the base of our neck. I guess that brain stem back there. All of those memories. So we take the lesson and not the charge. Moving forward, we're able to make that choice that takes us to that highest timeline. And so now I want you to bring that golden sun down. Take your time and allow it all to get into every single atom and cell in your energy as it moves down through the body, bringing in wellness, bringing in newness, aligning you with that energy of unspeakable beauty as it then mixes in with that earth energy and that cosmic divine life force energy, pushing out into your aura layer, lighting up that nervous system, and the beautiful etchings on the toroidal field of your purpose are bright, pulsating and sending those messages out to Mother Earth, allowing you to manifest your highest good. We're going to take a deep breath in and exhale. And I want you to give those roses that were 10 feet outside your aura layer an energetic push. Blow them up into fireworks, which turns them into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use. Go ahead and close the bottoms of your feet as you take a deep breath in and exhale. And watch that earth energy recede back down into Mother Earth. Close your hands if they were open, and your heart. And then gently close down your crown and see that cosmic gold life force energy recede back and up into the heavens as you remain surrounded by the beautiful warmth of the white light of the divine that lights up that toroidal field as that pyramid with the capstone spins, sending out that beautiful positive energy as you stay rooted and grounded into Mother Earth. Your astral body stays snapped in, your higher self stays above you, and your aura layer stays filled with love. And take a deep breath in, exhale, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Jolé.
Absolutely. It's such an honor.
It's beautiful. I just love the energetic feeling that that gives me, and yeah, stunning and amazing.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
Amazing. And you know,
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Okay. All right. Well, I think we are going to do a wrap up now then, Jolé. We're ready for that?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. So basically, usual kind of thing, which is that we will be sending out the newsletter tomorrow with the edited version of this attached to it. And again, for anybody who wishes to join our community, send an email to johndrew@elevatedplanet.life or contact us through elevatedplanet.life /contact page, and that gives you our details, and we will guarantee to respond to that and make sure that you join the list. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts, then you can share them on there as well. So yeah, this is all about community, and we will be reaching out and creating a WhatsApp group in the imminent future. And therefore, anybody who wishes to join that too will be exceptionally welcome. And we will also be joining forces with our friend Stephen at Twisted Reality, because he's helping us with that as well. So exciting times, exciting times. So Jolé, what else do I have to remember?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And we'd love for you to join our Nos Populi. And we will work on that WhatsApp, right? So we can all chat and get really good, not advice, I want to say, but spiritual guidance. And we can share all that we've learned. That sounds like a fantastic idea.
Yeah, it's all about community, right? And that's just a forum that anybody can tap into. And as Stephen's done some research on that, and we're pretty much ready to kick that off. I think maybe, hopefully over this next week, we'll be taking some concrete steps towards that. So
Awesome.
okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Jolé, as always. Thank you to everybody in the community. Love you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for your contributions to the day.